Many people have been exposed to a subwoofer at some point in their lives, but less realize the importance of deep bass to enhance media, and fewer still know how to set one up in their homes. A basic understanding of why deep audio is a great investment and how to set up a subwoofer in your home theater system is what I'll be demonstrating today. A subwoofer produces the lowest frequency range of any speaker, which generally includes sounds from explosions in movies to drums or bass guitars. Subwoofers can pick up sounds with higher frequencies in the woofer range if desired by changing a setting called the crossover frequency, which I'll cover later. So why should you care about low frequencies? If you enjoy movies, shows, or music, a properly set up subwoofer in your home theater system can help you feel what you hear and greatly enhances immersion. That being said, many people set up subwoofers to much higher levels for the wow factor, which tends to ruin immersion. Growing up with parents that greatly restricted the amount of media that my brother and I were exposed to made the first times at a concert and movie theater unbelievable. Both events happened in my late teens to early 20s without any previous experience with high quality audio. I was astounded and it set me on a path to recreate those feelings consistently. Luckily, subwoofers are a widely available commodity nowadays, with older speakers being literally given away. Some of these older speakers can be picked up at garage sales or thrift stores and can be set up to have quality sound. The first subwoofer, amplifier, and front speakers I had lasted me 4 years, all for $10 from a garage sale. The first quality of your subwoofer you need to figure out is whether you want it powered or unpowered. Unpowered subwoofers are generally cheaper but need to be powered by an amplifier which can over double the price. In this regard, powered subwoofers which come with built-in amplifiers usually come out cheaper. Heat is a big factor when choosing powered or unpowered. Powered subwoofers usually don't have as much airflow as their unpowered counterparts due to the subwoofer box housing the amplifier. If you use your home theater system frequently, you may want a separate amplifier as not to overheat it. A consideration you may want to make is if you have a receiver. Receivers can house a subwoofer amplifier as well as amplifiers for your surround sound systems and house several HDMI ports for consolidation of several devices to play from your widescreen. If you have a receiver without a subwoofer, you'll definitely want an unpowered subwoofer. I personally wouldn't recommend investing in a subwoofer if you already have a soundbar you're satisfied with. Many newer soundbars have great replication of lower frequency sounds. Although they won't be able to produce low frequencies with the power of a subwoofer, you may not see an improvement in sound quality in smaller spaces. If choosing an unpowered subwoofer without already having a receiver, you'll need to look at the ohm rating on the subwoofer and amplifier you choose. Your subwoofer's ohms need to be equal to or higher than the number of ohms on your amplifier. Ohms are a resistance rating for the amount of power allowed to travel through your subwoofer and amplifier. If you choose a subwoofer that has many more ohms than your amplifier, you may want to go with a cheaper and less powerful amplifier as much of the power your amplifier can output is being wasted. If you choose a subwoofer with less ohms than your subwoofer will draw more power than your amplifier can handle, which could burn it out. When connecting your subwoofer to your amplifier, there are 4 connectors and terminals you'll see: spring-loaded clamps, banana connectors, RCA plugs, and studs. For all 4 connectors, you'll want to match positive connectors to the positive terminals and negative connectors to the negative terminals. Usually the connectors and terminals denote red as positive and black as negative. The easiest to connect are banana connectors and RCA plugs. Just push these connectors straight into the backside of the terminals. Spring-loaded clamps require raw wire to be pushed into the openings while you press the lever to hold the clamp open. Studs require a nut to be unscrewed and raw wire to be wrapped around the stud. Screw the nut tight again while holding the wire tight to the stud. In the case you need raw wire to connect your subwoofer to your amplifier, you may need to strip the last inch of wire of its casing. You can use a wire stripper or knife to do so. In either case, you need to make sure not to cut into the wires themselves or risk damaging the sound quality. When cutting lengths of wire in between your subwoofer and amplifier, cut several extra feet to give yourself flexibility in case you do cut into the wire. You'll also need to be able to move your subwoofer when adjusting placement for optimal sound quality. I won't be covering bridged connections. This technique requires a well-defined understanding of sound equipment and can end up burning out equipment quickly if done incorrectly. After your subwoofer is connected, it's time to test it before fixing the settings. Attempt to play any media of your choice. Start on the lowest volume and slowly increase it. If you don't hear any sound by the halfway mark, quickly shut down your equipment and check to make sure you have your connections where they should be. When you have sound, it's time to correct the settings on your amplifier or receiver. Almost all amplifiers or receivers will have some sort of gain setting, whether digital or analog. Analog gain settings usually come in the form of a knob on your amplifier, while digital can be adjusted with a remote. If using your subwoofer for media, such as action movies, you may want to turn down your gain significantly. Some systems have a setting to adjust the gain based on how far you are from your subwoofer. I suggest moving your subwoofer around to find the place that gives the best range based on the room size and shape before adjusting these settings. Crossover frequency increases the frequencies your subwoofer can play. Adjust this up to the lowest frequencies your other speakers can play. Lastly, you can set up any equalizers you may have available. To avoid peaking, which is maxing out certain frequencies so they flatline at a point, you may need to lower your louder frequencies and adjust your volume accordingly. If you get stuck and can't figure out an issue with your system, places like YouTube are full of resources. I had plenty of issues the first time through my first setup, but the internet is a wonderful place and you'll find person after person with the same issues. Good luck and enjoy a fuller, more immersive media experience.